The laughter began like dry wind scraping over forgotten graves, soft at first, then sharper. Snickers, whispers. A venomous hum of mockery slithered through the waiting room of Fort Brenry's military base. She sat alone, hands folded neatly in her lap, fingers curled around the hem of a tattered olive-drab jacket. It draped her shoulders like a relic, too worn for the world it now rested in. Too real to ignore, if anyone still knew what real was. Near the check-in kiosk, a teenage recruit leaned toward his friend, puffed up in new-issued pride. "She looks like she stole that from a Goodwill dumpster," he muttered. Laughter followed, too loud, too easy. The woman didn't flinch, didn't blink, but someone else did. Across the room, a general, battle-worn, silver-haired, ribbons heavy on his chest, stopped mid-step, his eyes locked on the back of her jacket, and the world around him stopped breathing. Her name was Elise Rowan, nearly 70. To most, she was a shadow, an old woman with no nameplate, no salute, no story. She lived alone. Watered a garden behind a peeling rental house, spoke to no one, not the nurse, not the grocer, not the kid who offered to carry her bags. But every Saturday, without fail, she took the 9:45 bus to the base, sat in the same spot, waited, said nothing, and always the jacket came with her, canvas frayed at the seams, a button gone, and on the sleeve, faded, barely clinging to the fabric, a circular patch. A falcon mid-dive, lightning in its claws. Below it, 3 letters barely visible, OSR. Most looked past it, most but not all. To the young recruits, she was a dare wrapped in dust, a fossil in the wrong museum. Until one, Denton, decided to perform. He strutted over, cocky, overconfident. "Ma'am," he said loudly, "this area's reserved for military families and active personnel." She didn't answer, so he grinned wider. That jacket wouldn't pass inspection at a charity bin. Laughter again, but this time it was interrupted. By boots, a sound like thunder on marble. The general approached, not angry, alert, locked in. His voice cracked the room. "Where did you get that?" Denton blinked. "Sir?" "That patch," the general said, voice dropping to a reverent hush. "Where did you get that?" Now the room was silent, tense. Elise slowly lifted her head. Eyes like fog and fire met the general's. "You were OSR," he whispered. She nodded, once. Just once. And the general, veteran of 3 wars, hero of 2 continents, stumbled back a step. "Everyone out," he said, his voice steel. The recruits hesitated. "Now." They vanished. Elise didn't move. The general walked forward like a man approaching a monument long buried beneath the soil. "They told us you died," he murmured. "They told us OSR was wiped in 79. Her voice came soft, worn thin by silence, but unshakable. "We weren't lost," she said. "We were buried." He sat beside her, no longer a superior, now just a soldier in the presence of something holy. "Operation Silent Raptor," he breathed, deep black, intel so deep it didn't exist on paper. "You were the only woman." She tapped the patch. "I made them promise to keep it that way." Then, for the first time in decades, Elise spoke the truth no file had ever held. She told him about being dropped into enemy territory with no backup, how she slipped coordinates through hostile lines to end a siege that saved thousands, how she was captured, tortured, traded, forgotten. Her name was erased for national security, her mission classified above top secret, and so she came here, week after week, not to be seen, but because part of her still was here. The jacket was all that remained. The general listened, tears collecting in eyes carved by war. "Why didn't you come forward?" he asked. "I did," she said, "just no one looked up." He stood, snapped to attention, and saluted, not out of protocol, out of debt. "You were a ghost in the system," he said, "but you're a pillar in our history." The next Saturday she returned, but this time no snickers, no whispers. At the entrance, a line of recruits stood in full uniform, Denton at the center, a folded American flag in his hands, a bouquet in the other. His voice cracked as he said, "We didn't know. We're sorry." Behind them, a framed photo had been installed on the wall, Elise Rowan. 1979, eyes fierce, the patch clean and proud. Beneath it, Elise Rowan, Operation Silent Raptor Service without recognition, valor beyond record. She looked at it, then at them, and smiled. Quiet, but real. Some heroes wear ribbons, others wear silence. Some carry stories in parades, others in stitches and scars and faded patches no one noticed, until someone remembered. If this story hit something deep inside you, don't let it stay buried. Share it. Let the silent giants be seen. Subscribe if you still believe in honor. And drop an eagle in the comments for every hero the world tried to forget and failed.